Hey Taurus, welcome to your May Taroscope. I'm Chris, and I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys in April. Happy Taurus season. Happy birthday to y'all. I missed you guys a lot, and I'm ready to jump into this. I think that there's a lot of shifts going on right now with regards to the energies that we've been dealing with. They've been kind of chaotic. They've been kind of scattered. Lots of retrogrades last year, and now we're finally settling into your season, guys, where we get grounding, we get practicality, we get focus, we get. I think this is what's happening also with you guys this month. We're getting a burst of vitality. You know, Aries season brought a lot of fire back into the world. It kind of lit things up. But now with you guys, it's like a locomotive, there you go, where the fuel was thrown into the fire, and now Taurus season is like the churning of those wheels, getting us going, getting us moving. I think a lot of you guys are feeling like you're yourself again in certain ways. I think that whether things feel particularly good or bad right now, I think that you feel okay about yourself. You feel capable. You're feeling a resurgence of vitality, a resurgence of wanting to care for yourself, of liking yourself again in a new way, of feeling your oats, you know, and wanting to move forward this year. So let's go ahead and jump into the reading. But before we do, I just want to mention my website is finally available. It's ready to launch. The most exciting thing for me here is that in the past I had where you buy personal readings, you kind of just had to buy them all at once, and I got really backlogged that way. Now I have a system here for actually scheduling appointments. So you can go there, pick an appointment that's available. You get your video within 48 hours of the time that you choose. Helps me balance my life, helps me set expectations, win-win for everybody, right? So check out the website. You can also donate to the channel, and lots of videos and other cool content coming there your way soon, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got for Taurus, insight, advice, and guidance for the month of May. We're going to look a little bit of what energy we're coming into May with, and then see what we got going on going forward. All right, so Taurus, starting out here, your central situation, we have the Two of Swords. So this month, we're looking at a lot of choices, I think, with the Two of Swords. It's not just about what you decide to do. While I do feel like there's an emphasis here on having to make a distinct choice this month, Taurus. So if there's something that's been on your mind, there's something that's been maybe on the back burner, something you've been wanting to do, a project you've been wanting to get into, a move you've been wanting to make, I think this month has you. And what I was trying to say was it's not just a choice, it's about doing the deep dive into yourself to really get in touch with what it is that you want and what it is that you're about now in your life, right? So that's what I was saying when we started out the reading. There's a sense here, guys, of reconnecting to your passions, reconnecting to purpose, reconnecting to the things that you're determined to accomplish. And this month, you have these options in front of you, and you have choices to make, Taurus. I think for a lot of you guys, this is stuff that's been sitting on the back burner for a while, things that you've been contemplating for a while. I think this month is a time where you have to put those things into action. I think if you don't put them into action, you're going to sort of be forced to. There's a feeling here of sort of sitting idly for a while, right? So I don't know, Taurus, if like this winter season has had you a little in your feelings, a little kind of like not feeling like things were moving in the way that you wanted them to. This month pushes you to the point where you have to sort of make these choices. And I think these choices ultimately, Taurus, are going to be rooted in what the story is that you have about yourself right now. What journey are you crafting for yourself? How do you want to see yourself? How do you see yourself now? Who's the character you sort of want to embody for your life going forward? What is your purpose, right? What is the story of you that you're going to live in your life? This month you have a kickstart, a sort of smack, I was going to say smack in the ass. Make it a little sexy if you want to, whatever. If you like a little booty smack, who doesn't? But a little kick in the ass is what I'm going to say, right? Maybe that's sexy to you too. I don't know. It's your thing, whatever. But Taurus, something, you're getting pushed this month. You're getting pushed this month to act. You're getting pushed this month to make a choice that's going to make you act on the thing that you, on what you want and what you're about. In your ideals here, Taurus, we have the Empress. So I think especially with regards to your home life here with the Empress, with regards to your power, with what you feel passionate about, with what you love. I think there's like I feel like a sort of invigoration of like this like fire coming through your body, and it's like inflaming you, and it's making you feel passionate. It's making you feel driven. With the Empress in your ideals, I think a lot of you also are considering love. And for some of you, that's just going to be matters of love with a significant other, right? So maybe having to make choices about the direction of a relationship, maybe having to make a choice about whether something in your life you want to continue, a relationship you want to continue, whether there's a relationship you want to get into. And for some of you, I think there's also going to be questions regarding family, right? What does family mean to you right now? Does it mean being close to people? Are you rekindling relationships with relatives? Do you need to be near family right now? Do you need to find this sort of refuge and this unconditional love that the Empress offers? Either way, whether it's relationship, whether it's significant other romantic relationships or family relationships, there's a big call to be surrounded by unconditional love. And I think, Taurus, what's going to happen here this month is that you are being called on, I think, to create that for yourself. So whether that's just how you care for your home, that might be for some of you taking care of it in a way that makes where you live feel like home in a new way, whether that's important decisions you have to make around your love life, or how you, some of you might be considering moving closer to family, something like that. But the name of the game here, Taurus, is love, is passion, is the things that you care about, the people you care about, what really gives you strength, what gives you support, what fuels you, right? Because we always talk about Taurus as being very on your own, being able to hold up your own weight, but I think that there has to be some kind of love or some kind of motivation, some passion that drives that, right? That inspires you to kind of keep going, to keep fighting, to keep plugging on. Now, in the recent past here, Taurus, with what we went through with April, what we're coming into May with, we have the world. So for a lot of you, there's choices because of what something that's closed here, right? With the world coming up in your past, Taurus, a major chapter closed. Some of you might have ended or seen the loss of a relationship, right? Or something that you loved. I think that no matter what, I think there was a decision here that needs to be made about closing a part of your life, about moving forward here, Taurus, about where am I now, right? I think we've talked about this before, where you keep going and you work, and then you look up and you're like, where am I now, right? So Taurus, I think there's a lot of consideration this month, coming into this month, about who the future you is, right? Who is Taurus now? What are you about now? Things, a way of life, a way of thinking, a way of feeling maybe about relationships is coming to an end, right? So whether if you're in a committed relationship and it's time for things to sort of be let go of, or something was recently let go of, or you just made the decision to let go of something recently, you're moving forward this month into a new phase of your life, into a new phase of prosperity. It feels like a new phase of happiness. With this card here, Taurus, it's like you've leveled up. It's like you've evolved. And that's what I mean by where are you now, right? It's about figuring out what the new you needs, what the new you wants. The things that you had in your life might have worked for you at one point. The relationships you have might have been really supportive at one point, might have been really encouraging, really exciting at one point, right? Really passionate, really everything you needed. But does it now? And here we have the first quarter moon, Taurus, so we're moving towards something new. We're moving towards something bigger and better in May. I think we see the beginning steps of this to me is like you're halfway in between a place where you used to be and a place where you're now going. Things are being released here. Things are being let go of. Some of you, I think there is, it's like, what is that? There's an expression that Stephen King said once where you want to have big boots to fill, right? Because you have to have boots that you can grow into was the idea. And the point with that being like, to expand and dream as big as possible so that you have something to grow into, right? And so here, Taurus, what I'm feeling here is that there needs to be an expansion of your mind this month. There needs to be a growth of understanding and feeling about what you want. So again, Taurus, being in this middle place, being in this place where now you've outgrown your dreams, and now it's time to kind of grow bigger dreams for yourself, right? In that Taurus springy energy of planting things and watching them grow and flourish. It's like the way a plant kind of grows and evolves, and it enters different stages. It's a seed in the ground and then pushes through the earth, and then it's this little seedling, just a little green thing out of the earth, and then it grows out bigger, and then it starts to form flowers. Like that's where what I'm thinking as a metaphor for how what you want to be and how you see yourself is evolving, and how it's changing, and how it's growing into something that is very different from what it maybe once was, right? It's maybe a little unexpected, I want to say, with this energy here, right? Because with everything we see so far, there is a sort of emphasis on things closing, things changing, you being pushed to a point now, Taurus, where there's no choices almost, like you have, there's no choice but to make a choice, right? Is that what I want to say? Of course you have a choice, of course you have free will, of course you're going to use that really sharp, smart Taurus brain to figure out what's going on for yourself and what you need for yourself. But you are being pushed right now. Six of Wands in reverse, so this makes a lot of sense here. A sense of not winning, a sense of not feeling yourself. And I think this is what I was saying in the beginning of the reading. Sometimes I say things intuitively from meditating that I don't really understand totally, but I'm glad I do, because now coming through the reading, when I was talking about maybe a feeling of not winning, a feeling of things not quite going your way, or experiencing difficulties, here the Six of Wands, ending out our experience of the past that we're coming into May with, there's a feeling of not winning, right? So whether it's literal, like you didn't actually accomplish something you wanted to, or maybe just not feeling, as powerful as you usually do, not feeling as capable as you usually do. You guys might have needed to take a little rest here, right? I think you might have needed to withdraw a little bit in certain ways. I think you might have needed to, what I was saying before in the beginning about the Two of Swords, how it's not just about the choice you're making on the surface, it's actually about all the internal work that was done to come to that conclusion. So the past few months, the past month at least, might have seen you going deep and figuring out what is it that I want? What is it that I'm about? There might have been a lot of setbacks. You might have had some difficulties with people, right? There might have been some difficulties with work. Some things that made you question your path. Some things that made you question, maybe in some ways, Taurus, your worth altogether. But I think what we're coming back to here, since we do have the Empress and ideals, is coming back to a place where you feel strong, where you feel capable, where you have a good head on your shoulders again, I think, right? What's so cool about Taurus energy is the way that you guys are capable of dreaming big, and then also having like the patience and persistence to make it happen. I think a lot of people don't give earth signs credit for their imagination, right? And you need a lot of imagination to be that person who's going to achieve big things, like you guys, like Capricorn, like Virgo, having all these ideals that you hustle towards. And so I think what was happening here, Taurus, is that you've been crafting your ideas, you've been in your imagination a little bit, you've been in your head, you've been in your feelings, you've been trying to figure out, in our turning point here, we have the wheel, figure out what the dream is. What is the dream? And I think, Taurus, the dream is getting big. And I think the Wheel of Fortune here in your turning point shows everything we've been talking about. Yes, the inner sense of self, coming to a place where you're now ready to act. And then the Wheel of Fortune is propelling us into the future. So I think if you guys have had some difficult times recently, if you've needed to withdraw, if you needed to be a little introverted, if you needed to, hole up at home a little bit and rest up your energy, I think it's because you're on the brink of something big. Right? I heard the other day, Beyonce say something about how she has a habit of allowing herself 24 hours to feel the absolute most pity for herself, right? She wallows in her pain, she wallows in her sorrow, she wallows in self-pity for 24 hours, goes as deeply into it as is possible. so that when she's done pitying herself, now she can get out of it, right? Feeling the feelings, and then using that resting time as a way to move forward. And that's what I'm picking up here, is like a sort of resting time, a sort of maybe a little breaking of the spirit that's been happening. Now you're like ready to make shit happen. Look, Taurus, going forward into the month, we have the Four of Wands. So this is kind of exactly what I was saying before with the Empress and the Two of Swords, when it comes to the comforts of your home life, the comforts of your love life and your relationships, whether it's familial or romantic, right? Taurus, there's a big push here to be comfortable, to feel at home wherever you are, right? So again, whether this is about the advancement of a relationship, whether it's relationships that need to come to an end, whether it's living circumstances or situations that come to an end, I think just trying to make where you are more of a home. This month, Taurus sees you getting really strong now, not internally anymore, but in your lived reality, in your mundane world, in very literally your living situation, your circumstances, your family, your friends, your loved ones. The Four of Wands sees celebration. It seems the comforts of home. It feels stable. It feels secure. Stability, Taurus. I'm kind of jealous. I want that kind of stability right now. That's why I wasn't with you guys for a month, because shit in my life has turned upside down a little bit, and I've got to make a lot of big moves in a short amount of time, and all I want is stability. So good for you, Taurus. Good for you. But no, this is really good, because I think that it feels super powered when I'm looking at this. It feels charged up. It feels like you see your goal and you're plowing towards it now. But don't feel bad, if you've had to rest. Don't feel bad if you've needed time to recuperate, to pick yourself back up. And now going forward, we have the Seven of Cups. So Taurus, I see this card in a lot of different ways sometimes, right? Sometimes it's like a illusory success, right? Sometimes it's, having lots of options. And with this card right here, Taurus, especially falling right next to the Two of Swords, where I've said from the beginning that you have a lot of options right now, I think that this month is asking you to pick really carefully and to not forget what happened in the recent past, right? I think that there's a possibility here of almost getting too ahead of yourself, of getting too excited, of feeling too good too fast, and now you're jumping into things and you're not making wise decisions. So Taurus, this month, be very careful to make smart choices. You have so many options, but with this card here, it almost shows a possibility that some of those options are going to feel better than they're actually going to be something that is actually leading towards your success and leading towards your happiness and leading towards the accomplishment of your goals. So in the month of May, Taurus, be very, very discerning about where you put your energy. Be very, very discerning about what you put around you, about what projects you get involved with, about who you get involved with, right? Be careful not to also jump into situations that feel good because of, the way you might have been feeling. When you talk about like budget fatigue or diet fatigue, right? Where say you've been on a budget for so long that you get a little extra money and now you go blow it. Or you've been on a diet for so long that now you think you're looking good, so you eat a bag of chips and undo everything you've done. It's that feeling, that almost gluttonous feeling, that I think you have to be careful of this month, because there's going to be a lot of things that tempt you in a lot of different directions. And some of them will pay off, but I feel like most of them have to be very carefully thought out. It's a good month, especially with this card, to seek advice, to seek counsel, to get outside of your own perspective, right? Because there's potential for just feeling what feels good and not going with the best logical choice. Maybe it's a matter of timing, that maybe one route you want to go towards, it's not time for that yet. And you don't want to do something prematurely. So think very carefully this month, Taurus, about your options. Be very sure that when you do make a choice, it really is for your best interest and not just something that sort of glorifies yourself or feels good or is a place of vanity, right? Now, beautiful way to wrap out this reading, Taurus, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So especially Taurus, I associate with the Knight of Pentacles, right? All earth signs sort of, but especially Taurus for me. And then we're rounding up right back with the Empress, which is a Venus card, ruled by Venus, your ruling planet. So Taurus, this is what I mean sort of when we talk about coming into your power and feeling vitalized and feeling connected to what you desire, feeling connected to your passions and your drive. By the end of May, guys, we're seeing you making money moves, right? We see you hustling, we see you moving forward. But this is with a very clear head. This is very focused, this Knight of Pentacles. He's intent, he has this persistence, but it's persistence that comes from absolute confidence and knowledge of self and trust in self and faith in self, right? So Taurus, what I see here throughout this month is a sort of closing of old chapters, of having gone through a lot of things where it might have felt like you were losing, where it feels like you were maybe slipping, and now moving towards a place where there's healing that's been done. Temperance at the bottom of the deck, where you got in touch with your creativity with Temperance. You got in touch with your passions. You know the right way to go. So this is what I've been saying about how there's been healing that's been happening. So don't beat yourself up for maybe some lack of progress you've been feeling. Now is the time to act, and now is the time to get clear, and now is the time, Taurus, to make smart choices. You need to not have there's feeling of needing to rid yourself of toxic energies right now, of relationships where maybe you were just trying to impress somebody or hold on to something that you've been holding on for too long. There's something around you, this kind of toxicity of way of thinking, of toxicity of connections to people, that I think needs to be rid of for May, because it's hindering your progress, right? It's keeping you from being able to move forward in this way. All right, Taurus, so let's pull an outcome card here and wrap up this reading. Again, check out my website for donations that keep this channel running. For booking a reading, my new booking system makes it really simple and easy to get your reading when you expect it. I'm really excited to start doing it that way. And just some other cool stuff here, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you've enjoyed this reading. Okay, so Taurus, our outcome card for May is the Fool. So this is what I mean here. Not just new starts. Now we have endings and beginnings here, right? So definitely feeling this energy of being stuck in between two places. Well, let's not say stuck, but being in between two places of the old that's leaving you and the new that's now coming into your life. The Fool asks you to trust your intuition. The Fool asks you to have faith in yourself. The Fool encourages you to know that your ability to manifest, your ability to create is boundless, is limited only by your imagination. Taurus, I want you this month, if there's a theme for this reading that I can see, it's to craft a new image of yourself this month that creates a pathway, a goal for you to pursue, but to have it grounded in reality. Right? Do be very careful to not allow your ego to become too strong. Be very careful to do your best to stay humble, right? Even if you start to see successes happening again, don't rest on your laurels this month. It's an ask here with the Fool, I think, to continually see what needs to be new, to continually create new, to not take anything for granted. There's a sort of looseness with the way the Fool moves through the world, this sort of ungroundedness that to me says at any moment what you think you can rely on, what you think you can rest on, is going to prove itself to not be true, and you're going to have to keep on moving, right? So use your accomplishments as impetus, right, to keep moving forward. But I think there's a need to not get complacent, to keep going bigger, better, farther, faster, more imaginative. Let your imagination this month go wild, because you have what it takes to actually, you're not somebody who's loosey-goosey lost in La La Land, right? Except where your ego maybe comes into play, right? So be careful with that. You're a person who can actually follow through on the shit they say they're gonna do, right? You walk your talk, Taurus. So this month, just dream big. Let go of what's not helping you anymore. Right now, there feels like there's a little cleaning that needs to be done, a little dusting off of the old toxic shit that maybe hasn't been making it not feel so good. Just be careful not to go too far in the other direction where you're like ruining yourself because now you're feeling so flossy that you kind of, walk off the edge of a cliff, right? All right, guys, I love you so much. Have a wonderful month in May. Keep looking out for the channel for weekly readings, as well as other videos that are be coming to you. Check out my private readings, donations. I love you guys so much. I wish you the best month ever. Happy birthday, my beautiful bull babies, and I will talk to you soon.